bro. Hey, man, that's my gun, man. Give my pistol back, bro. Y'all don't do me like that, dog.
Open carry doesn't work. It is not a deterrent, and it will get your gun stolen.
Hey, don't do me like that, bro. Hey, man, that was wrong, bro. Ah.
You saw the video. This is tragic. This is horrible, and it didn't have to happen. The guy just walks up to the counter at a gas station with a gun in his back pocket, and another man plucks the gun out of his back pocket.
Hey.
And then the open carrier decides he's going to try to get his gun back and ends up dead. I don't know how many times we need to say this. Real hardened criminals are not afraid of the mere sight of your gun. They're afraid when you point it at them. They don't want to get shot. But if they can do something like snatch it out of your pocket or out of that small of the back holster you got, your gun's gone.
And I'm gonna take a different tack than we normally do here. You and I have said again and again, don't do it. Do not do it. They're not afraid of your gun. They're afraid of getting shot. These people have way more experience with violence than you do. Please stop carrying openly, etc. That's not working with a lot of people, apparently. Right. So I'm going to take a different position on this for it. I bet that young man from whom that gun was stolen and who wound up killed in a barrage of gunfire. I'm very interested in knowing what exactly happened out there, because that was a lot of gunfire outside.
I wonder how many other people were shooting at him as well.
Right. I bet that young man would have been a lot more aware of and careful with a wad of 10s and 20s equaling the amount of money he spent on that gun than he would have been, or than he was with that gun. So rather than just looking at it as, I'm going to walk around like Snuffy Smith with this pistol hanging out of my back pocket, look at what you spent on it, and then ask yourself, would I walk around with that rectangle of money, rubber banded together, hanging out of my back pocket that way? And
so
I bet the answer would,
so
that everyone can see it, and it's not covered up, and it isn't even, so whatever a retention holster for a wallet is, it's not even biker wallet chained to my pants.
Right.
It's just hanging out of my pocket, or it's just sitting in a Yaki holster on my belt. How about we start looking at our guns that way? Your guns are expensive. A cheap gun costs what?
$250, $350.
Okay. So let's get $250, $300 in 20s and 10s and rubber band it together and have it just like duct taped to the side of your pants, uncovered out in public in the gas station. Now, if you tell me I live 75 miles west of Moab, Utah, fine, cool, whatever. No, lots of people.
Right.
I'm not even being that. I'm not even being that sarcastic here. But in a lot of these discussions, the first thing that comes up is, what if I'm out in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, well, that's not what we're talking about. Right. We're talking about the video that we just saw, which is, as I've said before, people who don't want to spend the money or the effort on concealing their gun. And look where it got this guy.
Yeah, and I understand it is your right to carry your gun openly. I mean, there's open carry laws across the country. They're all over the place. It is your right. It comes with that responsibility. Well, I'm going to be careful, and if somebody sees my gun, they're just not going to mess with me anyway. Look at how fast that guy was able to get that gun, because the one thing we teach everybody in gunfighting school, action defeats reaction. And that bad guy's action had that gun out of his pocket and in the bad guy's hands before the good guy, and we're calling him a good guy, before the victim of this crime even knew what was going on. And again, people who have committed lots of crime are not afraid to commit crime. I remember telling a couple of folks when we used to do the Concealed Carry Expo, well, why can't I carry you? Yeah, you can. Feel free, open carry, it's legal in whatever venue we were at. Go ahead, open carry. But I suggest you concealed carry. Well, open carry is just as good. Well, all right. If on the floor of the expo, I can walk up behind you and touch you on the back of the head, I get to keep your gun, because I could hit you with a pipe and then take your gun. And you didn't even have to hit this guy with a pipe. He just took his gun. And it's tragic. It is terrible that a seemingly decent citizen, I mean, it didn't seem like this kid was doing anything wrong. He didn't seem like a terrible person or whatever. He ended
No
up,
idea.
Yeah,
I'm going on
yeah.
record saying I don't know this guy from the Man in the Moon.
Yep.
In this context, yeah, his gun got snatched, and then he followed these people outside.
Yeah.
That's another one that we would not recommend.
Right.
If somebody just took your gun away, even if you got a backup gun, you're going to want to seriously consider just breaking contact and getting out of there and calling the cops.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now that guy, that guy has a weapon, and you should know the condition of the weapon. It should be loaded with a round in the chamber. He just took it from you.
Yeah.
Don't chase him. You already made one big mistake getting your weapon stolen, but man, keep your firearms covered. Off-body carry in a bag, in a holster, and we're talking about how to carry and what is the most defensible method of carry. I consider myself too heavy, a little bit too much around the middle to carry comfortably in the appendix position. But that is a good way to be able to defend your gun and to know where that gun is and know who might be looking at it at all times. I don't want to hear, oh, you want to shoot yourself in the junk? No, I don't want to shoot myself in the junk. I want to buy a good gun that's not going to go off by itself. So then, most modern firearms won't do that.
Well, and that brings up an interesting point, which is a lot of negligent discharges and a lot of poorly carried firearms that you see in public. We get back to my point that a lot of this is out of laziness and they don't want to spend the money. They don't want, well, my holster is really uncomfortable. So when I'm driving, I pull it out of the holster and I put it in the console or I put it in wherever. Okay, the answer to an uncomfortable holster is not just take the gun out whenever you're driving. You need to get a better holster, because it wouldn't stun me if this guy got out of his vehicle. Oh, gotta get my gun. Guy at the class said I shouldn't just reholster without looking. Sticks it in his back pocket. Or, well, this isn't, maybe at this gas station, I don't know, I want somebody to steal it out of my car. Stick it in your back pocket. You need to find a way to carry your gun that is comfortable and concealable. Those are the two big ones. And boy, oh boy, do they come out of the woodwork red hot angry when we start saying, just don't carry openly. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. Yes, if you're all by yourself in the middle of nowhere, it's not nearly as bad an idea as when you're in any city environment. But I sometimes have to remind the people who get angry at us about this. We work for Concealed Carry Magazine, which is the publishing arm of the United States Concealed Carry Association. Don't be that surprised that we advise you carry concealed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I go back to my very first firearms class of any type, defensive firearms class with Masad Ayub. And I still remember the quote to this day. Concealed carry gives your attacker the maximum opportunity to make a fatal error in the victim selection process. You retain your ability, the element of surprise, you retain your tactical advantage when your firearm is concealed and somebody then decides to attack you. If your firearm is open, you see what happens. They make a plan, they execute the plan, your gun is gone, and in this case, the guy got killed. And
I hate to see it. I hate everything about this story because I feel terrible for the guy's family, and I feel that this was just so entirely preventable and did not have to happen. You hate to see it.
Hey, before you go, let me ask you, are you breaking these gun laws without even knowing it? Get a free concealed carry map that reveals the gun laws in your state and the states you might be traveling to. Click the link in the description below to check it out.